Good afternoon, I'm sat with Dawn Halfacre, the Senior Manager at PETA, the training provider. Good afternoon, Dawn.
Good afternoon, Steph.
Dawn, can you tell us about the role of the PETA organisation?
Yes, the role of PETA is very much about supporting business and the local economy. We were originally set in place by a number of businesses, 6 altogether, over 47 years ago, with the objective really of providing training that was right for those businesses at that point in time, at a time when there are actually training levies in place. So it's quite interesting, everything's come full circle again. Our object is quite simple. We are about educating people from the point of entering employment and right the way through their employment, but to the benefit of the employer as well as the employee. So it's all about education.
Fantastic. And how long have you personally been a director of the organisation, and what are the biggest changes you've seen in your time here?
I've been with PETA, this will be my 22nd year of employment, so a long time, and came into education from manufacturing. So very different environment, although there's some striking similarities between the two, surprisingly. I suppose over that time I've seen huge changes from when I first joined PETA, looking at management training and development primarily when I first came into the business. Throughout the years, and probably more so over the last 10 to 12 years, we've seen huge shifts in the economy. Business fortunes have changed. Probably one of the biggest things that I've noted is when I joined, there were many larger manufacturing organisations, big names, big household names in the locality, and the vast majority of those have now gone, and even I came from one of those major employers before coming into PETA. And so what we've seen is the emergence of far more micro through to small to medium-sized enterprises, and a very diverse employee base around the city.
And are those small and medium-sized businesses as able to take on your people, your nominees, as large organisations, or do you find it's easier to work with a larger organisation?
I think it's very different needs that are reflected by those businesses. If we look primarily at the smaller businesses, they're hungry for skills to be injected into their business to allow them to accelerate the growth of their business. So more often than not, they are looking for a great deal from the young people, the apprentices that we helped put into those businesses from the start. So there's a huge challenge for us as a business in ensuring that we're finding the right individuals, that we're giving them the right preparation in order to enter into employment, and they can fulfil those skills needs for those businesses. I think when we tend to go to larger businesses, there's more structure in place generally in order to look at their plans for growth and development and skills they need. So their process for bringing and integrating young people into the business is very different, and they tend to have a much more structured and possibly a more sympathetic approach to helping those individuals gain a good work ethic and settle into employment.
So that leads me to ask, what are businesses looking for from the candidates you offer them? Because I think you are saying there also that you do a lot more than just, providing candidates.
Yeah. Our business runs from apprenticeships and matching young people into employment with local employers, through to supporting existing employees within a business. So we all have an organisation that might come to us, and for example they could say, I've got a group of 10 managers here, they're homegrown managers within the business, I know they're very adept in terms of the functioning of our business, what we do day to day, but their skills in terms of managing, nurturing people, motivating people to really do their best are not necessarily there, and their communication skills might be lacking. So we would be working with that business to try and align a development program that's going to help accelerate those personal skills within those people to promote the well-being of that particular business. At the other end of the scale, when we're looking at apprentices, it is very often an immediate skill need the employer is looking for, and it tends to be more discrete pockets of 1 or maybe 2 employees. In particular, we're seeing quite a growth in IT industry in terms of most businesses today are so reliant on IT. They're looking for their own support mechanisms in-house. So they're wanting someone who can come in quite quickly and sort of take ownership of the day-to-day aspects of looking after the IT systems. And that's a huge challenge in terms of making sure that we do have the level of appreciation, understanding and maturity of those young people to be able to make that transition from education into real employment, where they are expected to output something and be productive for that particular business. So it's quite a wide range of development support that we're providing for businesses.
How do you actually attract people into your organisation for you to then onward supply them into businesses? I mean, do you have relationships with feeder organisations?
Well, we work with local agencies, Association of Learning Providers. We are part of GTA England, Group Training Association England, so we like to sort of keep our finger on the pulse of what's going on throughout the country, and also to encourage a sort of good cross-fertilisation of ideas, concepts, and how we can better serve businesses in providing the right level of training and support for them. So we look to do that. We also aim to work with local schools in order to look at those earlier years when we're educating young people as to the options that are available for them. So, it's not necessarily just one pathway to your development and learning. There's other pathways you can consider, including the apprenticeship. So we're trying to make that connection to help that transition from school to feed into employment, and we're the conduit in ensuring that we're getting those young people into those employer vacancies.
And therefore, if I'm a business of any size, I'm interested in working with your organisation, what is the best way of me getting in touch with you?
There's a number of options you can look for. First of all, our website, www.peta.co.uk. Super website, very easy to navigate. There's lots of information there for young people through to employers. There's information about our own vacancies that we've got within our own business. We post our vacancies for employers on there, so we make sure that young people looking can see that there are actual jobs that employers are seeking for people. And we provide lots of information about the different programs that we run here. Most of them we tend to run on a business-to-business basis. It's employers buying in for courses for their employees, but there are individuals that come to us to seek their own further development. So we may get people on our NEBOSH programs for health and safety. We could get someone who wants to go onto a lift truck course to get a ticket to make themselves more employable. So we do some sort of business to consumer work, but in the main we would be working on a business to business level for training courses. But our website has a host of information there, and that's probably the simplest route to actually finding out about us. We're also on Facebook and on LinkedIn. We also run an annual event here, our course taster event, where we throw open our doors to local employers, and it's a free day where we host 60-minute taster sessions of lots of different topics that are relevant to business today, from motivating staff through to dealing with difficult people, through to the GDPR. We've recently run something on that. So we try and provide things that are relevant to business today and what they're going to need to accelerate their people performance.
And is that annual open day, as it were, the same time every year, and when is it?
Always in September, tends to be around the 14th, 15th each year. We kick off with a really good guest speaker, and this year we're delighted to have Paul McGee, the sumo guy, who did a 90-minute session, and it went down tremendously well, and it fires people up for the day. And then we ran 21 different taster sessions of courses. And what we did at the end of the day was we provided a briefing to employers about apprenticeship levies and how you can be maximising that opportunity for your skills development within your business.
Brilliant. So though we've missed it for this current year, people can look forward to it for maybe next year.
All lined up for the September the 14th next year.
Indeed, look out for that. So listen, finally, difficult question I know because of the backdrop and the environment and Brexit and the economies and whatever, but what do you see as the main challenges your organisation faces over, say, the next 2 to 3 years?
I think, as you've already identified, there's things that we really don't know fully how they're going to impact yet. The Brexit negotiations still going on at present. There's bound to be some sort of fallout from that for all of us. So I've no doubt the economy will fluctuate as we move forward. Probably the biggest thing influencing our business at the moment is the apprenticeship levy, and helping to encourage employers to understand what that levy actually means to them. Surprisingly, there are many employers that still do not understand what the levy really means to them or how they can use it. And we would want to really push forward in ensuring that we can be a leader in showing businesses in the local area how that can be of real benefit to the business. Navigating our way through the apprenticeship levy has been a huge learning curve. It is for most training providers, colleges etc. We've made a huge transition from the apprenticeships and the frameworks that were in place and going over to a levy-based system whereby the funding mechanisms are shifting and the employers are having to pay the levy if they fall into the levy cap, and now they need to know how they can draw back on that levy to invest in skills. So that's a big change for us. Lots of new standards. The days of MVQs that we all got very accustomed to sort of long gone, and we're talking about standards that are relevant to industry today, and they've been developed with industry input. So huge transition for us, but we're delighted to be at the forefront of that, and we're offering a lot of new standards to employers, and we've got many apprentices already enrolled on those.
Fantastic. Dawn, thank you very much indeed. I look forward to working with you and your organisation, but for today, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steph.